Aero and Officer Mike, Police Partners, by Joanne Plummer Russell. It is very early in the morning. Everyone in the house is still asleep. A large black and tan German Shepherd is lying on the floor by Officer Mike's bed. The alarm rings. Officer Mike reaches down to pet his dog, Aero. Aero is a police dog, also known as K9 Officer. When Officer Mike puts on his uniform with a silver badge on his chest, Aero jumps up, ready to have his wide black leather cover with a police badge on it slipped over his head. He knows this will be a workday. Who is Aero? Aero is a police dog. Work and play. Officer Mike and Aero are partners. They work together. They practice together. They play together. Aero, with his powerful nose, can do many things Officer Mike cannot. He can sniff and find lost children. He can sniff and find lost things. Police dogs are very strong and well trained. They have to be ready to go anywhere they are needed. They can be very fierce when they are helping to catch criminals. They can run faster than any human being. But when police dogs are not working, they are gentle pets that like to have their tummies scratched. Aero's most important jobs are to help and protect his partner, Officer Mike. Together, Aero and Officer Mike patrol in all kinds of weather. Some weeks they patrol from early morning until dinner time. Some weeks they sleep in the daytime and work all night. What can Aero do with his powerful nose? Aero, with his powerful nose, can do many things Officer Mike cannot. He can sniff and find lost children. He can sniff and find lost things. How are police dogs like? Police dogs are very strong and well trained. On duty. Aero is always eager to jump into the back of the police car. Officer Mike's car is different from other police cars. There is no back seat. The floor is flat and covered with carpet for Aero to lie on. There is a water bottle built into the floor, and a small fan keeps Aero cool in the summer. Screens cover the windows so no one can reach in and pet him. How is Officer Mike's car different from other police cars? There is no back seat. The floor is flat and covered with carpet for Aero to lie on. When Aero is on duty, he's not allowed to play. Officer Mike sits in the driver's seat, but Aero will not let anyone else sit in the front until Officer Mike tells Aero it is okay. Aero knows that one of his jobs is to protect the police car. When Officer Mike leaves the car, he either opens the front window for Aero to jump through or uses a remote control to open the back door when he needs Aero's help. What does Officer Mike do when he leaves the car? When Officer Mike leaves the car, he either opens the front window or uses a remote control to open the back door. Time for a break. When Aero and Officer Mike have been in the police car for a few hours, Aero will need to take a break. Aero pushes his head against his partner's head to let him know. Officer Mike parks the cruiser as soon as he can and says to Aero, "Go be a dog." Aero knows he'll also have time to explore a little and maybe chase a tennis ball while they are stopped. What does Aero do when he needs a break? Aero pushes his head against his partner's head to let him know. Signals and commands. Officer Mike can talk to Aero in different ways. One way is to use hand and arm signals. When Mike's hand is outstretched, it means stay. When Mike's arm is raised, it means sit. When his hand is flat, it means down. Aero is very loyal to Officer Mike and wants to obey him. He likes to hear the words, "Good dog." He tries to please his partner all the time. Aero can understand short commands like find him or stop him and no barking. Aero can also understand some commands in Czech, the language spoken where he was born and where he began his training as a police dog. What sort of commands does Aero understand? Aero can understand short commands like find him, stop him, and no barking.